My name is Ogunjinmi from Ondo State, Nigeria. I want to give a brief tour of the inside of this computer. The first thing here is the power pack. This is the main power supply, and here I have the CD-ROM drive. The hard drive is inside this bay here, and it's got its connectors. Now here I have the main power to the motherboard, and it's a 24-pin connector, keyed connector. Then this is a 4-pin auxiliary connector for additional power to the CPU. Then I have other connectors from the power supply. These are the other connectors for this power supply to power drives and other components of the system. I have the front panel cables for USB and multimedia. This yellow one is for multimedia, and here this white is for the front panel USB, and this is for the power button. Now let's move on to the motherboard. Now on the motherboard is the main circuit board we have in the computer that controls almost every other thing, where every other thing connects to on the computer. Now the first thing I'm going to be showing is this ATX power socket, where the main power for the motherboard goes, and for the auxiliary power we saw the other time, this is where it goes. Now we have some PCI slots here. This one right here is a PCIe X16, while this one are the same PCIe, though they are smaller. They are called PCIe X1. I have the SAT bridge here, which is like a box. Now I have the SATA connector to connect the drives, the hard disk, and the CD-ROM drive, and any other drives we have. Now this white one here, these two, they are both front panel USB connector, where we can connect the USB. And this one right here is also for front panel, for the power button of the system, while the yellow one right here is for the front panel multimedia audio, to connect the audio. Now this one right here is for mini PCIe, to connect additional PCI cards. Now PCI adapter cards are for expansion, to connect other peripherals to the system. Maybe your by default from the manufacturer, you don't have some connectors to connect other peripherals, then you need to connect them. You can use these slots to add adapter cards to your system to improve functionality, or if the connectors you have, you need to improve functionality and maybe they don't have the capacity to carry the kind of work you want to do, you can add these adapter cards to improve their functionality. Okay, now let's move in ahead. Now here is the RAM, random access memory, that is used in the running of applications on the system. Now as you can see, this is 2 gig RAM, and here is the slot. This computer only has one, so but it has 2 slots for the RAM. Now this is a heat sink and fan assembly to cool our processor that is right under this latch. Now let me take that out so that I can show you the CPU. CPU is like the brain of the computer that perform all of the mathematical calculations and decisions making of the computer. Now, as you can see, there are different types of CPU, but this one is actually a land grid array CPU. There are other CPUs that has pin, but this one is pinless, so we call it a land grid array. Now, it can only go in one way in this socket we have here. It can only, if you look at the side here and the other side here, it has a little hole, and on the slot here you can see what we have. So it can only go in one way, so we just put that in gently. Now once it's in, now we just pull down the latch and it's well kept down. But there is one other thing here, which is spread, the heat spreader. It's called a thermal compound that is used for the transfer of heat between the CPU and the cooling system in order for effective cooling of the CPU. Now moving ahead. Now, okay, this is where the CPU fan connects, and another important thing is the CMOS battery. This battery right here keeps the settings inside the BIOS. The BIOS is basic input output system, and this battery right here keeps the settings, even your date and time. Even when your system is shut down, this still retains all of that. Now on the outside here we have these different ports that is used to connect other peripherals in the system. Now we have the USB, and then we have the Ethernet port that connects the network cables. We have DVI ports for the monitor and display, and then we have the VGA port. It's also for the display connector. Now here is the multimedia audio for input and output of audio, microphone and speakers. Okay, that will be. Now one last thing inside the case. The way they did standoffs in this system is quite different. This right here are the standoffs that we have inside this case, and these standoffs ordinarily should prevent your motherboard from touching the case in order for it not to short circuit. So thank you.